What's up, guys? I'm LQ. This is the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me here on my YouTube channel. This is where I talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff. I love to talk about movies, video games, comic books, TV shows. And right now, I want to give you guys my thoughts on the most recent DC Universe animated universe movie, Justice League Dark, The Apokolips War. Now, one thing to keep in mind with Justice League Dark, The Apokolips War is that this really isn't a Justice League Dark movie per se. Constantine is, in a lot of ways, the lead character of this. I think that's where they get the Justice League Dark title. I think that's how they apply the Justice League Dark title, is that Constantine is in a lot of ways the lead character. But Zatanna is in this very little. Swamp Thing is in this very little. You start looking at the other Justice League Dark members like Black Orchid, in it very, very little. The demon, Etrigan, he is a supporting character who doesn't have much to do. This really isn't a Justice League Dark movie. I don't know why they put that title on there, to be honest with you. I understand why they wanted to use Constantine and use him so heavily, even though he wasn't a part of the original storyline in the comics. But this is more of a DC Universe as a whole movie. You've got the Justice League America in it front and center, in some ways more than others. Justice League Dark, yeah, they do have a presence, mostly in the form of Constantine and the Demon, Etrigan. Suicide Squad has a very large presence in this movie. So it's more of a DC Universe movie that takes on that name, Justice League Dark. Now, this movie is an adaptation of this comic, the Darkseid War. So it ran for, gosh, how many parts is it here? 10 parts, 11 if you count the prologue. And I gotta tell you, it's nothing like the Darkseid War. I mean, they took bits and pieces of it, and you can definitely tell the bits and pieces from the Darkseid War that they took. But they took a ton of liberties, just a ton. So much so that it doesn't even really resemble the Darkseid War. The Darkseid War was a war between Darkseid and the Anti-Monitor. And that's not what we get here. Anti-Monitor's not even in this. The Darkseid War the Apokolips War ends up being a war that's largely fought between Darkseid and Trigon. Trigon has seen some resurgence in popularity. He's been in some major comic storylines last few years. He was also the lead protagonist in season 1 of Titans. The lead antagonist in season 1 of Titans. So, yeah, he's definitely seen a rise in popularity. So, I don't know why they chose to go with Trigon. Probably because they wanted the Justice League Dark component, and probably because they didn't want to get into all the mythos that surrounds the Anti-Monitor. They didn't go too deep into a lot of the characters that played a pivotal role in the Darkseid War. Mr. Miracle, he played a pivotal role in the Darkseid War. Now, one thing that we did get, where is it? We got this in the Apokolips War. We got Batman in the Mobius chair. We didn't get Metron. We never saw Metron, then he never even said Metron's name. But we got Batman in the Mobius chair. So that was nice. That was a nice little nod to the Darkseid War storyline. But it really didn't look anything like the Darkseid War. So this involved Apokolips. Darkseid is trying to invade the Earth. The Justice League sees it coming, and they decide that they're going to take the fight to Apokolips before he even has the opportunity to attack Earth. And when we're talking about the Justice League, we're talking about the primary players. Superman, Batman, Hal Jordan, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Mera was involved in this one. We're talking about the main players, a couple supporting characters. And when they go to take on Darkseid on Apokolips, they are defeated soundly. defeated soundly. And that's because Darkseid was able to spy on them through Cyborg's technology. Many Justice League members are killed, others are enslaved. Superman and Constantine, I believe, were the only two that were able to get away. Superman and Constantine. And Superman starts, and Darkseid ends up taking over Earth. And Superman starts building a resistance to take the Earth back. And the resistance consists of Constantine, Raven, Damian Wayne, Lois Lane, and then you get into the Suicide Squad. They end up recruiting the Suicide Squad into their ranks. So we see people like Harley Quinn plays a pretty big role in this movie. Of course she does. So you got Harley Quinn, you got Captain Boomerang plays a pretty big role, King Shark plays a pretty big role. You got some other supporting Suicide Squad characters who don't really have speaking parts, but you see a lot, that they have a lot of action moments. Bane has a lot of action moments. Cheetah, Lady Shiva is there as part of Damian's team. So you see a lot of characters that don't really have speaking moments. Some of those would be Steel, Batgirl, Batwoman. Some of these characters are in the movie. They have action sequences. Dick Grayson, they have action sequences, but they really don't have any speaking moments. All the Justice League kind of have their moments to shine. The Justice League Dark, I would say the only characters that really have their moments to shine would be Constantine, Etrigan, Swamp Thing. He has a moment that's very well done. It's his only scene in the movie, though. Zatanna has a nice moment at the end, but she's hardly in the movie. And she's such a big component of when I think Justice League Dark, I think Constantine and Zatanna. And she's not even in this movie, really. A little bit at the beginning, a little bit at the end. So that's hard for me to wrap my head around with it being a Justice League Dark movie. But yeah, we did get other components here of the Darkseid War. Wonder Woman, as we know, played a huge role in the Darkseid War. She didn't have much to do in this movie. There is no crime syndicate in this, and we know the crime syndicate played a pretty big part at the end of the Darkseid War, and there's nothing of the crime syndicate in this. Darkseid War in a lot of ways plays as a sequel to Forever Evil. Trinity War, Forever Evil, and the Darkseid War. They're like this crime syndicate Darkseid trilogy that concluded the New 52, and we didn't get any of the crime syndicate in this. Lex Luthor is in this as a member of the Justice League. You remember he joined the Justice League at the end of Reign of the Supermen, but there's not much for him to do here. There's not much for Luthor to do here. He isn't in it much. I love Rainn Wilson in the role. When they restart the DC universe, the DC animated universe, I hope that they keep Rainn Wilson as voicing Lex Luthor. I doubt they will, but I love Rainn Wilson as in the role. I've really come to enjoy his take on Lex Luthor. In this movie, Shazam had a few moments. John Stewart, they did John Stewart dirty in this movie. I'm not going to talk any more about it, but they did John Stewart dirty in this movie. But yeah, to say that it is here's more crime syndicate in part 9, to say that they did a adaptation of the Darkseid War is disingenuous, because they did not do an adaptation of the Darkseid War. They took some parts of it and then they told a new original story, and that's what we got. So was it any good? Yeah, I'm having a hard time with this because this is a really kind of depressing movie. There's a lot of people die, a lot of people that, if you're a DC fan, you've got emotional connection to, right? You love these characters, and a lot of people that you love die in this movie. This is truly an end to the New 52 version of the DC animated series. Most people, spoiler alert, most of our heroes are not alive at the end of this movie. And then Constantine, Barry Allen, they come up with a way to try to set things right, but it's going to come at great cost. And that's where we end this series of movies. So yeah, it was super entertaining. I mean, it was 90 minutes long, so it's long for a DC animated movie. I was glued to it the entire time. I was very entertained. I had a great time watching it, but it was depressing. It was hard to watch. I mean, even as an animated movie, it is rated R. They don't hold back on the gore. They don't hold back on the violence. They don't hold back on the swear words. But even on... given the fact that it's rated R, it was still hard to watch as a DC fan because you see so many of your beloved characters fall. And some of them fell in ways that felt kind of like a ripoff. But overall, I loved it. It was a good movie. It will not be high, as far as repeat factor is concerned. It won't be one of my most rewatched out of the DC animated movies in the 15 movies that have been in the DC universe, New 52 universe. That probably goes to Death of Superman and Reign of the Superman. That was a lot of fun to watch. But this just, I kind of got done watching it and I was like, wow, that was really good. Man. That's like, wow, that was really good. Oh, like that. So, yeah, it's good. If you're a DC fan, you have to watch this. If you're a DC fan, you have to watch this. All of our characters had their little moments. Even the Suicide Squad members. Harley had her moments in this movie. Captain Boomerang had some moments. King Shark had several moments. And even the Justice League that gets largely dismantled at the beginning of the movie. As we go through the movie, we find out that most of them have not been killed. And even a lot of them get their moments at the end. So overall, it was really good, really entertaining. The animation was very well done. A lot of action, a lot of exposition in this. More exposition than you normally get in the DC animated movies. Usually they're just beat 'em ups. This one had a lot of exposition in it, a lot of story to tell. So that was good. But yeah, I give this one a B+. It was good. It was entertaining. I had a great time watching it. Kind of depressing. Don't know how many times I will rewatch this one, but I'm glad I did because I'm a huge DC fan and it was very well done. So, have you seen Justice League Dark: The Apokolips War? Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of it, and what do you think of the New 52 run of DC animated movies as a whole? Maybe I'll do a ranking video to rank the New 52 animated movies. I think there's 15 of them. That'd be fun. I think I'm going to do that. But thank you for joining me here at the LQ Review. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. And as always, I appreciate you joining me right here where we get to talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff we love to talk about. Until next time, we'll see you later.